Hello and welcome. I'm Mercy, the Game Master, here at HereThereBeMonsters, and we're back with another working Wednesday stream. If you're not familiar with the Power Hours, we put 30 minutes on the clock, we take a short 5-minute break, we put 30 more minutes on the clock, and then we get out of here. As we all know, it's easy to spend untold amounts of times working on our game, and of course, I really enjoy doing that too, but sometimes...
YouTube stream is now live.
Sometimes the YouTube stream is now live. I always forget about that. Sometimes... it's good to be focused and to stay on topic and to get the thing done, you know? So that's kind of the goal of these streams. We do them 2 to 4 Wednesdays a month. It depends a little bit on the month. And today, our big to-do is to prep what may very well be the end of the battle for Capstone. So obviously, I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get going.
is the first chatter and has been first 7 times.
Really, Enola? Hello, Lily. Thank you for being here. Currently making tacos. Very nice. What kind? Soft or hard? Pork, fish, beef, chicken? Yes, really? Hello, Amras. Good to see you. You lost 2 minutes. Oh, because I've never gone over the time limit before. Soft beef. That's part of what I had yesterday. Very good. Enjoy, you guys. For those of you that don't know, of course, even with the goal being to stay on topic and to stay focused and to work fairly quickly, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So we have kind of a hard cap of 90 minutes total. Of course, the goal is to be as close to 60, well, 65 because of the break, but to be as close to 60 as possible. But 90 is kind of our drop deadline. I don't think we've ever actually gone over 90. We've been close a couple times. You had a not so great night at work, and oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. In both fronts, I'm sorry to hear that it was not a good day at work, and I'm further sorry, of course, about the impending danger. I saw your message right as I started the stream, but I also hope that it pivots soon. Also, we had a new person who checked out one of our last working streams and said that they were planning on tuning in for future streams. So I don't know if they meant live or after the fact. But either way, if you're here, thank you for being here. I hope you have a good time working on your projects. Well, at least you have that kind of understanding, Lee. I'm glad for that. Because sometimes you don't even get that, as I'm sure you know well. So our one of the other things with this is because a lot of the people that watch these working streams are also watching our on-stream game on either on Twitch or on YouTube at HereThereBeMonsters. So I do my best to keep these sessions spoiler-free or very, very, very spoiler-light. Occasionally, of course, there are specific things that I need to mention or talk about or mull over or even occasionally get feedback on. But we try to keep that to a minimum, and we try to warn ahead of time so you can earmuffs if you want. There are about a half a dozen different things that I'm thinking about getting done today. We'll see how much of them we actually get done. There are a ton of preparatory notes for this upcoming session. I guess first things first, I need to roll 1d24 to determine a thing. Ha. That's very fitting. Okay. Okay. So I don't usually get this nitty gritty with the planning, but of course we have a big ship to bring into port here. So we're even going to try and tentatively plan some scenes. But first, we've got a couple of mechanical questions to solve from our last working stream. Namely, how will momentum work with boats? If you don't know what that means, then that's not a spoiler. And if you know what it means, then it's not a spoiler. And then a few other things that I won't say because they would be a little bit more spoilery. So, momentum. We put this one off last week because, well, also because it just was not within the scope of what we were doing, but also because I don't know what to do here. First things first, let's see if Google has any answers for us. How fast do ships turn? You make a ship go faster. Ship to ship battles and magic. Nautical nonsense. Oh, that sounds like... It looks like that's just the name of a forum post, but what a phenomenal name for like a Dragon Magazine article. Sailing conditions. Ship travel speeds in the DMG. I know about speed. That's not really what I'm concerned about. Okay. There's not really anything useful there. Let me grab... Here's going to be weird. Actually not terrible. Let me grab Storm Rack really quick. How long can a dog swim? Storm Rack, really fun book. I've used it a lot in the Kingdom of Ren. Not a ton during the on-stream campaign so far for obvious reasons if you've been keeping up, but there have been multiple pretty significant sailing adventures that have taken place with other campaign groups in this world. There might be something in that section. Or that section. Okay. A couple sections in Chapter 1, which is called Into the Maelstrom. Chapter 2 is Races of the Sea. We don't care about that. 3 is Classes and Prestige Classes. 4 is Skills and Feats. 5 Ships and Equipment has some maybes. 6 is Spells and Magic Items. And 7 Monsters. 8 are Adventure Locales. Okay, so Chapter 1 hopefully is going to have what we want. If not, there's a small chance that Chapter 5 might. Chapter 1, I see 3 sections we want to check out. We have Aquatic Adventures, Voyages, and Narrative Naval Combat. So let's see what we've got. You are throwing random info. Might be true. Got it. Okay. Aquatic Adventures. I think this is going to be about location types. Yeah, seas and oceans, rivers, lakes, coasts and islands, caverns and dungeons, underground rivers, underground lakes and seas, sea caves, marine caverns. Okay, so that section does not have what we want. Sounds good. Thank you, Amras. I appreciate you. All right, so that's a no-go on that section. What about voyages? Page 22. Random weather and precipitation for the oceans. And direction, storm perils, wind strength, wind and weather. Wind and weather. Wind strength. So determine the specific strength, blah, blah, blah. Sailing speed. This is a multiplier used to determine, blah, blah, blah. I have some ideas for how to spitball this if we have to, but I figured we'd take 5 minutes to see if there was potentially any sort of actual answer, which so far is not looking good. Yeah, I would say nothing in the section on voyages. Hello, Kale. How are you? What about narrative naval combat? Initiative and advantage. Check for advantage if necessary. Then the opposing ship declares heading and speed. Then the advantaged ship declares heading and speed. Then the ships move. You adjust their range based on the declared headings. The opposing ship resolves special maneuvers if any. Then the advantaged ship resolves special maneuvers if any. Then the round ends. That's cool. Not helpful for what we wanted, but actions, maneuvering, speed, and movement. Okay, so there's a potential chance here. You can set your ship speed at any value up to your ship's maximum speed. Yeah. Oared vessels can assume any speed they like from round to round and limited only by their max speed. Sailing ships do not accelerate or decelerate with the same ease. A sailing vessel can only change its speed by 10 feet per turn up to its maximum current speed based on the wind and current. Okay, that's actually kind of in line with what I was thinking. I'll explain more in a minute. It must have a sufficient number of sailors on watch who use actions to help adjust the rigging, raise or furl sails, and attend to other such tasks. A sailing ship's maximum speed is based on its movement rate and the strength of the wind and current. Sprinting. Rowers of an oared vessel can pick up the pace for a quick sprint, but risk exhaustion soon afterward. This could be pertinent, maybe. An oared vessel can add plus 50% to its speed for up to 10 rounds, but after such a sprint, the rowers are fatigued and the ship is reduced to half speed for as long as the rowers are fatigued. Well, that's exciting. It's not exactly the answer to the question that we had, but good to know. Good to know. Ramming. If you have the advantage and close within 0 feet of your adversary, or you can actually go past them, you can attempt to ram. Not pertinent, but kind of fun. Okay. Then we get into magic, siege weapons, blah blah blah. How was your day, Kale? I appreciate you coming by. Okay, so part of what I was thinking was that essentially there would be a speed, and then that speed would decrease by a chunk every round, resulting in a total distance traveled. So yeah, and honestly 10 was probably one of the numbers that I would have considered. I think that makes sense to tie those two things together. You're 80% sure well, but in this case it's good for you because it's talking about losing speed more slowly. So I mean, I can make them lose momentum faster if you'd like, but okay, so it's kind of interesting because in this section on sprinting, I'm just going to write this down in my notes in case it comes up. It says that they can pick up the pace for a quick sprint, but risk exhaustion. But then, which makes it sound like there's a roll or a chance or a save or whatever. But then it goes on to say that it simply happens. So let's get our rules on exhaustion really fast. Whoops, not for 5th edition. Condition summary. Let's see how I feel about that. So then, essentially, what I'm thinking is we make it a save because we're kind of adjusting all of this a little bit anyway. And then the save is harder the longer that you've sprinted. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Kale. Exactly. Well, and there's also fatigued, right? So I think, yeah, fortitude is the con save. Yeah, I knew what you meant. You're good. So I think what it would be is when we make it a con save, and then a con save or become fatigued. But if you fail by 5 or more, then you become exhausted. That's how a lot of saves and checks work with in 3.5 is with a different outcome if you fail or if you succeed by 5 or more. So that okay. That might result in fatigue/exhaustion. So then I think we want to base that part, if we're going to make it a save, which isn't currently a save, I think we want to base it on force marching. No, you're good. Honestly, I say even as a 3.5 preferrer, I use the 5e save names a lot of the time. Okay. Force march. In a day of normal walking, a character walks for 8 hours. The rest of the daylight is spent breaking camp, resting, eating, etc. A character can walk for more than 8 hours in a day by making a forced march. For each hour of marching beyond 8 hours, a constitution check, DC 10 plus 2 per extra hour, is required. If the check fails, the character takes 1d6 points of non-lethal damage. Character who takes any non-lethal damage from a forced march becomes fatigued. I don't think we need to use the damage here. A number of reasons. I'm not going to put the time into explaining that. But I think that save. Hey, Dr. Huge Time, how are you, sir? I will probably be getting back on a little while after this. That's part of the reason why I was asking if you were going to be around later. And also, Kale, aka Rocket, aka Bob, is around. Maybe the Bobs could get some work done. The DC 10 plus 2 per extra hour. I think that makes a lot of sense. We just do DC 10 plus 2 per extra round. DC 10 plus 2 per round. Cool. Now, the momentum itself. That was related, but not specifically the answer to our question. Hello, Mama Woes. How are you? Okay, so I think what we're going to say is momentum. I appreciate you coming by, Mama Woes. Good. I'm glad you're well. Pixie was really happy that she got to play with you last night. Speaking of all of your TTRPG games, your 5e game is at 6. Oh, I forgot it was Wednesday now. That's right. Okay, well, thanks for coming and hanging out with us before then, at least. Our gang be called the Bob Brigade. I had been going with the Doughboys, but obviously we can figure something out. It was an adventure. I heard. I'm proud of you guys for taking it on, though. Top speed. Let's see. Round 1 equals top speed. Equals starting speed. Each subsequent round equals -10. You're definitely joking. Uh-huh. There's a building fire! I do like the firefighting. Wait, are you on right now? Or are you just saying that? Hey, Gear, appreciate you coming by, sir. How are you? Okay, so that's dealt with. We have an answer now on momentum. Alan is on duty. Well, thanks for listening in. Just got a notification of a fire. So that means the other one got extinguished. I didn't think the server put fires out. I thought they burned until there was a storm. Oh, right, storm. There was storm 45 minutes ago. Yep. That makes sense. Well, maybe it'll be a less explodey one and we can fight it together when I get back on later. Doing well, just picking out some music. Very good. I saw that. There'd only be one fire at a time, yes. I approved your timesheet. Let's see. What book do I need for this next one? Probably Heroes of Battle. We might potentially need an answer for how fast a moves. Also possible promotion. I may or may not know something about that. Stop by to say hey. I got to eat supper before the creation stream. Before, yeah. Have fun. Thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. While you guys are here, if of course if you have a chance to leave the stream up, that's awesome as well. But even if you need to take off, if you haven't yet, if you could give a thumbs up on the stream, we'd super appreciate that. Hello, Vincent. How are you? Weird technical error there. Oh, did it not come through? Yeah, I'm looking. I'm currently researching in Heroes of Battle just to double check the movement speed of if we need that. There we go. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is exactly what I wanted. I found it. Oh God. All right. Well, I have an answer at least. Okay. We're doing well on answers so far. We had some unanswered questions that we had to leave at the end of the last working stream. So this last one is more of a narrative thing, less of a mechanical. So I think that's going to potentially transition us into our next phase here of the stream, which I've got 3 minutes. So I'll lay out the structure, and then we'll take our break, and then we'll come back and work within that structure. This is a tough one, though. This is one of those things where I kind of wish I could print them, I suppose, but I kind of wish that I was working with physical media. It would be easier to like lay things out, I think. First things first. Tailspire has an update queued. Oh, apparently I hadn't updated in the AoE initiative yet. Which is really cool, by the way. We're going to be able to leave measuring implements on the ground and add them to initiative. (911) Nothing is sticking to patient, and you're the only one on duty. It's not that same guy again, is it? You should know this, but you want to. Oh, not the same guy. Okay. You want to carry him out. So, play out the care as you would, as you're normally doing it with them, and then word it how you want. I usually tell them I'm going to take them to see a specialist, and then you clock off because otherwise it charges them like triple, and then carry them out and let them talk to Nurse Nancy, and then once they do that, then you can clock back in. If you're on the clock, it seriously charges them like double or triple or something. Feed them to Nancy. She's a soul eater. So how did your shift go yesterday, Kale? I am doing stuff in the background. I'm loading up our Tailspire map. Double check something that's pertinent. Da, da, da. What's the distance here right now? Oh, more than I thought. Okay. Maybe 2 calls. It's interesting because it seems like the city itself has slowly been getting busier, but like everybody's behaving. I feel like the rate at which calls have increased has not increased at the same rate that the population has increased. You got to go. Oh, got to go and watch them play paintball. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. My point stands, but okay, so there's the answer to one of the questions that I had. Here's question number 2. How much? The narrative timing on that's not great. Oh, I just noticed something. There's some notes that I didn't copy over from session 13 to session 14 that I definitely should have. Wait. Oh, never mind. Because it's not there. It's in the Unity of the Warforged document. There it is. So if we do this, oh no, I just thought of something. I need to fix the damage that something's been doing. Stay spoiler free. Probably. Let's double check here. Is this number a multiple of 44? No, it's not. Hey, look at me. I actually did it right the first time. Let's go. I need to remember it. Why is that important? Good question. Oh, the 44. I thought you were asking why why it was important to get something right on the first try. It's a damage value that something is dealing, but that something is currently debuffed a little bit. So if it was done correctly, it should be a multiple of 40, and if it was done incorrectly, then it would be a multiple of 44. Okay, so oh my gosh, it's gonna. This was unexpected. Yeah. I think if we're fast, we can get through 4 meta turns this weekend. I think that things will be a little bit faster. So that would be annoying. I wish I could explain a little bit more about what this is, but it would definitely be on the more spoilery side. Okay, so that's a short version that is not going to work quite the way that I anticipated. That's okay. The solution will be different from expected. Like narratively. So I need to mark this down and then we'll go to break. How are we doing on time? 35. Not too bad. Not too bad. Da, 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 da. I think what I want is I want sections for each turn and kind of generally what I anticipate happening during each of those turns. Need firm boundaries. What's up? Break now. Oh, I know. But I have ADHD, so I'm gonna forget the thing. But I have to get it just to a point written down where it's noted enough that I'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, we'll spend the whole time after the break trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Yeah. Okay. First, second, third. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Cool. Break time. How do you check your skills like strength? In GTA, I don't think there's a way to see the numbers. I was going to actually, before we got into doing the things that we were doing today, I was going to poke you about going and working out at Station 7. I'm glad that we did what we did instead, but that was something that I was thinking about. Okay, overlays, break ends. We put 5 minutes on the clock. All right, I'll see you in a few. If you haven't been up off your booty in a little while, get up, move around, drink some water, go to the bathroom. I'll see you in a minute. Oh dear. Breakout starts. It's all overlapped. Sorry. Also, hello, Spio. Thank you for coming by also. How are you? I won a Pokemon Go battle. And I think made it back pretty close to my timer. Might have been like a 6-minute break instead of 5, but it was pretty close. I just chilling. Very cool. Thank you for coming and chilling here. Okay. And thankfully, I took that extra minute before I got up, because otherwise I would be like, what does this mean? Some of these things are general bits of information. Some of these things are time specific within the session. So this one I think we want to call general info. General info. And then the others we will try to estimate, because of course we know how sessions go, but we'll try and estimate roughly what meta turns we think that some things will happen in, because that'll help me kind of pace it out during the session. Oh, yeah. Actually, one thing reaching backwards first, though. We should grab links for fatigued and exhausted from what we were talking about earlier, in case those ends up sorry, in case those end up happening being pertinent. Insert a link there. Copy that. Insert a link, insert, apply. All right, there we go. Yikes, Dr. Huge time with the roast. So, this is so hard. We might get through. In general, we have had a pace at which we have been doing this battle. But I suspect that this next session will be significantly faster, because there's been a lot of groundwork laid out for things that are now going to be unfolding. And so I think that a lot of those things unfolding, like because one of the things that slows down a turn in combat, right, is decision making by an individual player, but then also cooperative decision making. There's no, now that we're to the execution phase, we're not to the decision making phase. So if I thought that we were going to move at the pace that we had been moving at, then I think assuming that we would do 3 to 4 meta turns within the session makes a lot of sense. But I suspect that we are going to move significantly faster than that. So maybe I can't plan this out this way. Maybe I just need to put things in order. Because really, that's what I'm trying to accomplish. If I boil down, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to deliver some narrative scenes in a specific order during the battle here. Okay, let's do that and then see. We'll get everything written out and then we'll see how I think about it. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at it. I already like that better. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Might actually end up being even better. those might both be within the first chunk. Okay, hold on. Stay focused. Let's get them in order first, and then we'll get cute with it after that. Okay. I know. You're so still. You thought I was so still. You thought I was paused. Sorry. No, just focused. Something like itchy down here on my neck. I can't figure out what it is. Okay, almost done with this. That's done. Then we have, oh boy, the name. What's your name? What's your name? That guy. What are we doing? Your mom. Comedic genius. We are setting out a rough, what I roughly expect to be the order of events this weekend. Are you asking me for our situation, Vincent, or more generally? Generally. I think so, but you have to be careful that just like Deus Ex Machina can ruin something by removing player agency to their benefit, I think similarly, whatever the opposite of Deus Ex Machina is, could also feel like it robs players of their agency to their detriment, or or perhaps too transparently to create drama. So I think that would be the main thing, is to be careful that it doesn't feel like you are robbing your player characters of agency. like to create familiar scenes. So almost kind of playing on like that nostalgia. It's more to have them rally to protect their quest charge. So I think that the answer to that question depends a lot more on how you're running your game in general. If your game is a little bit more directed, then I think that's okay. If your game is very sandboxy, you have to be very careful doing that kind of thing. So I feel like they're in a movie or a show. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's really interesting because you and I have some very similar ways of approaching some things and some very different ways of approaching some things. For myself, as an aphantasic, like I don't process things that way myself, so like I don't even think of describe. Like I struggle to be more descriptive, especially when it comes to like sights and well, especially sights, but like sight, sound, smells, like engaging the senses and like trying to tie together that that like very experiential like visual scene. Right. Right. Yeah, I remember us talking about that. Okay. Whew. Sorry, I could feel that one coming. To be honest, it'll happen to an NPC with them, but it's a big security asset to keep them alive. Right, but I think the question is do your players understand that? Or your player characters understand that? If your players understand that, right? If they know they're on an escort the VIP kind of mission, then as long as you haven't already tacked on one more thing and one more thing and one more thing, so it doesn't just like lose itself in feeling like one more thing. I think as long as they already have the buy-in to the quest, then like adding something narratively to up those stakes even further, I think it's fine. In your Thursday game, it'll be fun learning how to set each other up in scenes. Yeah. You also need party members to pay attention when you talk about weather and why the sun is where it is. Yeah, I get you, Amras. I feel you. I agree. I also think that's better for the show, but you guys are killing me. Okay. That's done. So I have created a new question that we need an answer to. We still have 16 minutes though, plus potentially a small overage. So I think we're doing okay there. That can get marked off our list. That can get marked off our list. Oh, right. Also, hi, They recently got 2 new clerics. Most of the party is level 7, but the bodyguard NPC to the escort NPC is valuable. They also just got out of an 8. So that's the thing to consider is you can, like, good horror or good thriller or good action even isn't necessarily just action, 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 action. You need to have peaks and valleys. So how difficult was the escape? How dangerous was the escape? How recently did it happen? There could be some tension fatigue, is what I would call it. If those things were too significant or too recent, for you to ratchet the tension up again, that would be my my caution there. Hey, T-Bomb and Mandatory Fun Time. It's so good to see you again. How are you? The audience are also players. Yeah, yeah, for sure. We are bros, but only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Thank you so many people for coming by today, and it's so good to see you again. Fun time. I hope you're doing well. Okay. You're doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, of course. Happy to join for a bit. Hope you and the family are doing great as well. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, overall, things the last couple weeks have been significantly better than like kind of than where we were like a month or so ago. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm glad you're well. Okay. So we don't want to get into aftermath yet. We already laid that all out. I think I want to make this a whole separate section, not just a bullet point. Aftermath. Put it in the center. Make it bold. I almost did Control A, Control B. The whole document bold. That would be very sad for all the other formatting that's in here. It's a bit much to have it right after the ambush. You let them have a small reprieve, maybe even a short rest, and then spring the tension again. Yeah, there you go. In fact, you could use the whatever the thing is to like pull them out of the short rest, right? Don't necessarily interrupt it mechanically if that's not what you want to do. But you know, just as a way to kind of jumpstart the action again. Hello, Stardust. How are you? Wow, this is, I think, the busiest chat we maybe have ever had in a Working Wednesday stream. We're home from the works. I hope the works went reasonably well, and I hope you guys stay safe tonight / tomorrow. I didn't see what the exact timeline was supposed to be. Okay. Out of the frying pan into the fire. Yeah. Very awesome today. You're going to outline a 1 to 4 session for D&D and Tailspire where you'll use the optional rule mana points. Oh, very cool. Good luck with that. I've never used that system before, but I've always been a little curious about it. And I like the way that it's kind of coming full circle, right? Because mana points were a video game's way to start representing the idea of spells per day, but you know, like whatever, spells per increment. Oh, cool. Have you uploaded any new videos in a while, Mandatory Fun? I know you said that you were a bit behind on some of that. I don't think I've seen any notifications pop through, but I have been trying to look out. Pre-roll. Okay. Never have either, but you want to try it. Yeah. I'm super curious to hear how it goes. No, super behind, and last week was rough at work. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no worries. Also, I was trying to remember. I can't remember. I've forgotten now what it was, but there was something that I was going to try to ping you about in the Discord, and I couldn't remember what your name was in the Discord, but I remember it's different. Okay, we need to do a little bit of dice rolling. Predetermine some random things, and if you know, therefore, it does not matter if you know because you don't know what it is. So let's move this over here. And then I'll move my camera and Tailspire over here. Agito. That's it. I knew I'd recognize it when I saw it, but it was annoying me that I couldn't recall. Try to stick to a schedule of Final Fantasy 14 on Tuesdays, world building and rambling on Thursdays and Fridays. Very nice. Okay, so I think if we do this, I think we're actually going to finish. We've got 8.5 minutes left and 2 things left that I really wanted to do today. I think this is gonna work really well. Let's go down here. Problem child, do you think arrives Monday? Oh, okay, further out than I thought. Well, more time for it to hopefully change at least. You're talking to a friend about 7 days earlier. He was talking about his current large project. It reminded you about the time that we built a freaking highway through a mountain. Dude, we had some of the best mega projects in that game, for sure. 2, 4, 5. 5D4. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we did that. That was a big on-stream project on Twitch with a ton of people contributing to it. Okay. Then we take these and re-roll them again. Yeah. Okay. Those are done. Then we want 5 of these. Oh god, not 10th place though. I guess whatever. Fine. Mental math in here. Okay. Grab the correct dice this time. Right. But we need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa, God. Yeet. Have they even landed yet? There. That was amazing. Okay. Yeah, take care, Lee. Thank you for coming by. Sorry, catching up there. I get wild card for the next session's near-death experience. We're talking about it right now. There's a decent chance that the con is still on, but only for you. Wait, what? It sounded like it was going to be easier for her than for you. How did that happen? I was hoping to see her also, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I think we'll do this one more time just to make sure. Can I even chase them down? Oh, no. Oh, wait, maybe? Haha! Oh, but they're... Yay. Okay. Then we've got that, that, that. Wow, I didn't roll. Oh, I did roll one. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's done. How are we doing on time? 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Feels good. Feels good. What do we want to base this on? Is the question. I have to grab another book. Oh, ow. No particular reason. Okay. God, I don't even know where to start for what I'm trying to accomplish, though. Oh, God, not there. No way. I was just flipping through. That might be literally exactly what I want. I don't know if it's exactly. Sorry, I got something trying to get in my eye. I don't know if this is exactly how I want to solve this problem, but I have a good backup answer at least, which I found faster than I expected. There's like a fuzzy or something trying to get in my eye. What page is this? 5. Write that down. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking. Like I have a way that I could just homebrew this, but I like to use official material whenever possible. Okay, this has nothing to do with what I'm looking for at all, but a relic called the Cudgel that never forgets. This heavy mace has a flanged iron head and thick wooden shaft wrapped in leather cord. At its base, an intricately carved metal representation of a stern, bearded face. If you have established the proper divine connection, this weapon reveals its intelligence and sentience, blah, blah, blah. In addition, this mace... Oh, wait, is this the one? Hold on. Amazing. I figured you'd like that one, T-Bomb. Yeah, skip through some of the mechanics. A cudgel that never forgets speaks little except during combat, during which it reminds you in stentorian tones, I don't know that word, about the transgressions of each enemy, whether it has witnessed them personally, that bugbear hath wounded Lydia most grievously, or simply assumed wrongdoing based on creature type. That succubus hath surely tempted many good men toward evil. The imprecations of a cudgel that never forgets count as an attempt to demoralize the opponent. That's amazing. I freaking love this thing. That was, like I said, that has nothing to do with what I was looking for at all, but it's amazing. Does it just remind you of all your failures, awkward times, especially when you're trying to sleep? That's also very good. Okay, sorry. No, we don't want this or this page. Okay. We don't want anything like that. Okay, so I think it's gonna fall under... Oh, God. It'll help the DM improvise a lot of stuff. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's a tool is what I'm going to be looking for. Or at least what the book is going to classify as a tool. Yeah, we are out of time, but I think... Okay, also not what I wanted. This is one of the dangers of this book. The Bag of Boulders. This pouch creates tiny pebbles that strike with the force of a catapult stone when thrown. Okay, anyway, focus. But that's cool. Oh, okay, this might actually be exactly what I want, though. For you. Okay, cool, but not quite what I was looking for. Holy crap! Resist. Yes, control. You must learn control. I'm trying. The one I'm reading, I'm specifically reading it because I thought it might be the what I wanted. And I may still, that may be the basis for what we wanted. You can focus. Funny enough, I had a meeting with my doctor about that today. Because the person who assessed me told me to call my primary care physician for talk about possible pharmaceutical interventions. And then I scheduled an appointment with my primary care physician as I was instructed to do so, which, I had to wait like 2 weeks for or whatever. And then today was that appointment, and my primary care physician was like, "Why are you here? You need to talk to a psychiatrist." And I'm like, Which, admittedly, the person who I worked with for diagnosis is not a psychiatrist, so that person could not do it. But I don't know why they didn't just send me to the psychiatrist instead of to my primary care provider. I appreciate it. I haven't had a chance to tell kind of the full story. Oh my god. Actually, okay, hold on. I'll focus and then I'll talk about that briefly before we end. I appreciate it. Fun time. What is the thing I'm looking for? There it is. Okay. Oh. Why is it over there? That's why I couldn't find it. How much health does have? Right, T-Bomb? Oh, there it is. That's what I wanted. Okay. Okay, the average of that is that. I think it's close enough. I think it's close enough. Oh, pot is high kettle. Okay. I have a good enough answer. There's so many. Oh my god. There's so much to write down. Okay, I got it. We're done, and it's only just barely past 80 minutes, so we're still well under our time ceiling. And all of this, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Saturday. I guess for those of you that don't know, Saturday, what would that be? The 17th of August here is going to be our next session in the Kingdom of Rin, and one of, excuse me, if potentially not the very last session, depending on how things go, in the battle for Capstone, which has been raging now for a couple of months because we play twice a month. So, of course, you can catch us on twitch.tv/HereThereBeMonsters this Saturday. Mic check started about 3, and gameplay starts around 3:30, 3:45. Then, of course, that video will go up here on YouTube, 3 to 5 days later. In 7 days, loot stage is affected by the POI you're in. Yes. So if you build your horde base on the grounds of a raised Dishong Tower, all the loot bags will get... Oh, wow. Your next mega project. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, everything that we've done today and last Wednesday's working sessions. Oh my gosh. I have... What is this? I have... Well, not really 5, because some of that's placeholder stuff. I have 4 pages of preparatory notes, all of which I think will help things run even more smoothly than they already have been. So on the note of mental health, really quickly, because that's part of what we do at HereThereBeMonsters, and since it came up, I probably don't have time to go into the backstory on all of that for now. So if you don't know the backstory, I apologize. But the short version is, after a very long time... Oh, no, but I have to do a little bit. Dang it. Okay, I'll try and do it in context. But the short version was, I tried to work with somebody to pursue a possible diagnosis for ADHD about 6 years ago. And that person was hugely unhelpful. And we did the testing. The testing came through as essentially borderline, which is more or less in line with what I expected. I was not trying to argue that I had like an overwhelming case, but I thought that I had a mild to mildly moderate case. And we did the tests, and the test came through and pretty much agreed that it was a mild to moderately mild case. And then that doctor was just like, oh, but you don't have it. And I was like, wait, what? And it's like, what does that mean? Like, the test results seem to indicate something. And he was like, well, if you had it, you would have been diagnosed when you were younger. I was like, what if I wasn't? And he's like, well, you would have been. And I was like, what if I wasn't? He's like, well, you would have been. I was like, but what if I wasn't? You know? So anyway, at the time, I was trying to pursue that because I was going to be changing jobs, leaving good insurance and going to work for myself doing this. And I was hoping to pursue that while I still had insurance. And so that it died on the vine. That was the end of it. Worth noting, as an aside, while we were there, we were also reevaluating my PTSD, which is a thing that I have and was diagnosed with earlier in my life. But I wanted to pursue that further as well while we were doing mental health stuff. And we did some testing and whatnot for that. And I honestly don't remember. He either didn't really go over the results with me, or if he did, he kind of downplayed it. So anyway, fast forward to where we are now. I've restarted that process because although I'm still self-employed and so wouldn't really have access to much as far as health insurance goes for myself, my wife now has a different employer through which I can get health insurance. So I've been trying to catch up on some of these things. And went ahead, went in for some evaluations here a couple weeks ago, and 2 interesting things came up. The person who was doing my evaluations was looking back, of course, at my notes from the previous time that I was evaluated 6 years ago. And he was... So anyway, so he goes and looks at the stuff. Then we go and do our new testing. And of course, it comes back, there's all sorts of things that you get tested on. But like memory was really bad for me. shocker, right? Like so bad that we're actually going to retest it because he's like, I don't know if that's quite right. He's like, I don't doubt you that you have struggles with your memory, but like, that would be extreme. That would be cripplingly affecting your life. So anyway, so we're going to retest that. But in general, we went through, tested all the various aspects, and then while we were at it, he was like, would you like to retest your PTSD stuff? And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, like, in general, at this point in my life, I feel like PTSD symptoms are much less present in my life, but we're here. We might as well do that. So anyway, so we test all the things. He takes a half an hour or whatever to go through the tests, and then brings me back in to go over results. And he was like, so he says to me, I know that you'd mentioned some frustrations with the person who had tested you previously because you felt like they didn't really follow through on kind of their borderline results. And he was like, at the time, I was a little bit hesitant on that because I'm aware of that provider. And in general, I'm not aware of them doing shoddy work or anything like that. He's like, however, as I was going through your notes and everything to prepare for today's evaluations, I was also looking at the PTSD test that he did with you. And I don't remember the number for sure, but he was like, and at the time that you did that 6 years ago, that test came back with a 34, I think was the number. And he was like, and it looks like he didn't pursue any treatment or anything with you. Is that correct? And I was like, yeah, that's correct. And he was like, that's really strange to me also, because 34 is the threshold for diagnosis. So, like, screw that guy. So anyway, now the good side is, and he was like, and honestly, even if you'd been a little bit below 34, if you'd been like 31 or 32, that would still be close enough that we would probably want to investigate that. But no, you got 34 in the DSM or whatever is, or however this test is written, is the minimum criteria for diagnosis. And I was like, I mean, I've already been diagnosed, like I have PTSD, but like, so why would he dog me on that? Like, what? So anyway, like I said, at this point in my life, another 6 years later, I feel like generally speaking, the acute symptoms of PTSD are very rarely a part of my life. And my recent testing showed that. It was like 9 or 12 or something like that now. So like, it's still there, but it is as expected. That's reducing over time. So it's like, okay, well, I feel really freaking validated with how ridiculous I thought that first guy was with my ADHD diagnosis, because he also poop socked the whole PTSD thing, which makes no sense because that was something that I already had a previous diagnosis for. We were just reevaluating. Like, oh my God. So anyway, then we did then of course, then we were going over the results for the ADHD testing, and my results were strange, I guess would be the way to put it, without going into every single detail on every single test. Some of my scores were incredibly high. He was like, because I don't know, there's like the particular test that we were doing, because there's different tests, but the particular test that we were doing, there's like, I don't know, let's say like 15 evaluation categories or something like that. And for like, so if the number's 15, let's say that, let's say that 10 of them were in various stages of the average ranges, standard bell curve. 3 of them were in like the 99th percentile. He was like, we're not doing IQ testing, and that's not really relevant, but he was like, that is the type of result that if we were doing IQ testing to pursue other things, some of those results would be like something that would potentially result in like Mensa testing. I was like, what? And then we had the other end of the spectrum, right? So some extremes the other way. My memory stuff was, and like I said, it was so bad that we're retesting it. But he was like, your memory tests are, as tested today, were worse than what I would expect to see from somebody with beginning dementia. And so, like, my test results for that whole thing was like, so yeah, a huge gamut of emotions with that whole thing. And yeah. So anyway, he's essentially was like, I see two possible paths of diagnosis here. One being what just broadly would be termed like atypical ADHD, and the other, I honestly don't remember exactly what the term was for it, but it had some super generic name, and it was like disrupted memory or something like that. Like it sounds like something you made up. It doesn't even sound like a real thing. And so he was like, realistically, neither of these are very tight diagnoses, and I wish that we had something that felt a little bit more concrete, but there's obviously something going on here. And this is what the testing leads me to define this in one of these two ways. And he was like, and ultimately it doesn't really matter, because pharmacologically, if you want to pursue pharmacological treatment, the treatment for those things is essentially the same. So, yeah, like I said, a wild ride. So anyway, so then that led us to today's kerfuffle of, so now you need to call your primary care provider to talk about pharmacological solutions if you want to do that. And then, as I already mentioned, then the primary care provider was like, why are you talking to me? Especially since this case seems to be fairly unique, you should be talking to a specialized psychiatrist. So yeah, work in progress. Okay, let me catch up on the chat there. Sorry, I wanted to finish those thoughts because, attention. You never played D&D, didn't know roll only 34 hits versus a 34 defense. Yes. Yes. Because he was as a crap doctor. Yeah. Yeah. I don't generally talk openly negatively about people, but I think any benefit of the doubt or just hand wave or water under the bridge that I would have tried to give to the first doctor 6 years ago went out the door with the rest of that info. No, only the best doctors, right? Shock therapy. Yes. So you have to ask. The tinnitus that you have, is that you just zoning out, because you get that too? I don't know that I've ever specifically noticed a correlation between the two. My tinnitus is linked to my PTSD inducing event. So I don't know. If there is any sort of correlation, it's not a strong enough one to have drawn my attention to it. So yeah, that's where we are on that whole journey. For anybody who's like, anybody who's never seen our stuff before that watches this stream and actually makes it this far, you're a saint for for following the rest of that. But a number of people in our existing community have been, privy to various parts of this whole journey. And I had talked a little bit about how I was going in for testing and diagnosis and whatnot here late last month, and it came up today, so it seemed like a good opportunity to fill folks in. But you've heard the story of the PTSD event. I talk about it in very broad strokes in my content. I don't get specific because it's identifying information. So, like, I personally, 9 days out of 10, 9.5 days out of 10, am relatively comfortable talking about it. But in online spaces, I don't get too specific because, just for privacy considerations. So yeah, I just and so that was literally just this morning. Like at 7:40 a.m. was my appointment with my primary care provider. So 8 hours ago. So I have not had a chance to call psychiatry yet to try and start that process, but that's the next step. Yay. When are we going to do that Discord call from like February of last year? I mean, I know that that's mostly tongue-in-cheek, but I also don't have any particular memory of what that's referencing. I'm sorry. I vaguely remember talking to you. I think it was just kind of generally just kind of like, hey, we haven't really had a chance to like chat in a while. Let's chat. Like I think it was just that, right? Yeah. As previously stated, I might have a literally dementia memory, so forgive me. We kept missing each other. It was just a chat. Okay, that's about what I thought. But yes, we should do that. We should do that for sure. I guess as far as that goes, for anybody who is invested in the future facing side of things, I'm getting back together with the mental health professional that's been doing the evaluations to retest the memory, just the memory part of those tests in a couple weeks. I don't remember exactly, like 28th or something like that. Is that a Wednesday? I think it's a Wednesday. Yeah, 28th, I think. So I don't really know what we can do about that. Memory is one of those fun things that kind of is what it is. But I know to some degree memory is a muscle. You can train memory some. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm assuming that psychiatry is probably booked out like a mofo. So I'm assuming that the order of operations here is going to be redo the memory test and then schedule follow-ups to work on, whatever strategies for that we can do. And then probably another couple weeks after that. Oh God, it's probably going to be right around the time of the subathon, isn't it? Probably another couple weeks after that is going to be the psychiatry appointment. Just because of scheduling, I'm assuming, T-Bomb. I'm sorry to hear that. And also, sorry, I missed that message. Yay, Mental Health ADHD Club. Right. It still feels like a piece of the puzzle is missing. Between the memory test being so subpar and the vagaries of the diagnosis, still isn't. I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't know if it matters beyond just intellectual curiosity, but I wish that we'd found something with a stronger correlative diagnosis. You've just been doing general therapy. I mean, hey, that's awesome, man. I actually restarted general therapy as well. So the person who's been doing my testing is also a practicing therapist. So I've also restarted regular therapy. My first appointment was, I forgot, a week or two ago. I don't remember. It's the 31st or the 7th. I don't remember which one. Let me know if you solve that puzzle asking for a friend. Yeah, for sure. Therapy's awesome. Yeah, I firmly believe that everyone should be doing at least periodic therapy. I don't care how mentally healthy you feel. We do physicals and all sorts of other physical checkups, right? Like, I think we should be doing mentals. Your insurance is awesome. $5 copay on therapy. Dude, that's amazing. Yeah, ours is 20, which isn't the worst, but considering our financial situation, does still hurt a bit. But obviously, I think it's money well spent. So. Honestly, you need to do a short of the amount of times that I've described the weather, and then 5 seconds later you'll ask, "What's the weather again?" To be fair to you, um, weather things like weather, moon phase, that sort of thing in D&D, they don't really matter until they do, right? So it's a pretty, I get it. It's a pretty hard thing to I think like record and retain. It's video chat through their app, but for like $5, you don't need to go to an office. Yeah, I get that. So I the first time I did online, technically counseling or technically coaching, not therapy, but that's a pretty fine line. Was back during COVID, and I do like the presence of being able to look at somebody and emote with them, and I don't know. Yeah, presence is the best word I have for it. So I prefer in person, but I actually found that online video chat worked a lot better for me than I expected. And that's important because we're a one-car family. So I'll take a strong second best option that I can access versus the ideal solution that is a huge problem for me to access. They matter to you. Oh, I appreciate that, Amras. And I mean, I do try to actually utilize those things. Like I share them because they matter, right? Like weather changes. Moon phases might matter for any number of reasons, like how well you can see during a giant battle or like whatever. So like I don't get me wrong, I think there is value there, or I wouldn't be putting in the time and effort to share it. But at the same time, I understand if I were the player in that situation, unless I literally wrote it down as the GM was saying it, I wouldn't remember that either. There's no way. Anyway, of course, I'm always happy to sit and chat, and this has been a good mental health minute. But I think being now an extra 20 minutes on the clock, I am ready to wind it down. I do have some things that I want to get done in GTA, and also have some things I need to do to prepare for tomorrow's D&D game with the Mortal Woes. So for those of you that didn't. Well, so the problem is those are separate objects. The now is a result that is delivered when the timer hits 0. And the timer is not part of the word object. Furthermore, not all of the words that go there are the same length, right? So we've got break starts. Then break ends. Oops, I had the wrong thing. Rip. Break ends. Break ends. Neat. There. And then work ends. But it gets even worse because because you could just be like, oh, but why not just end justify, right? The problem is as the clock counts down, once we get into single digit minutes, then we lose Then we lose space. Right. Or we gain space, I suppose. Quick, everyone ask him a question. Let's track some more. Stop. Oh, right. D&D, Mortal Woes. So, I should have talked about that more at the start of the stream, but I was trying to get into it. And honestly, we stayed late to do other things, but my work that we want to get done in 65 to 90 minutes, 60 minutes plus the 5-minute break, we actually did in, I don't know, it was like 82 minutes or something like that. So, I'm actually really pleased with how this went. We accomplished a lot. We stayed pretty much on task, and we had some other chats. We just decided to stay after a little bit. But no. D&D with the Mortal Woes. So, tomorrow, 3 Pacific. So 22 hours and 46 minutes from now. On twitch.tv/Mortal Woes, I'm going to be playing D&D, something that I've gotten to do very rarely in my life. It is 5th edition, which is going to be a bit of a struggle for me. But we are going to be playing in a game run by Spio of the Mortal Woes. I don't think this is a secret. It's called the Murkmire. It's a custom setting in kind of a grimdark swamp. I'm really, really excited. So, I'm nervous about bumbling around in the 5th edition stuff, but the role playing is going to be fun. It's been a long time since I've been a player, and even so, I never got to do it much. I've probably played, like, as a player, in, I'd say, less than 20 sessions of D&D, probably in all time. And the most recent of those was probably like 7 years ago. It's been a hot minute. So it's going to be fun, though. I'll put the link in chat. And from what I understand, they're actually live streaming there right now, doing a DM prep session like we were just doing. So I don't know if it has anything to do with Murkmire or not, because Mortal Woes runs like 4 weekly games. But if you enjoyed this sort of thing, you should go and check them out as soon as we end stream here and tell them that we sent you. What are some interesting magical items that you saw that you want to base entire campaign around? Stop it. No. Bad. Oh, God, my teeth. I don't have the greatest teeth anyway, but I forgot to brush my teeth after lunch. I'm sorry. I was like, hold on, there was 1 or 2 other messages before we end. I should double check on that. Okay. So, yeah. D&D with Mortal Woes tomorrow. No stream on Friday, but I will post YouTube short because we're trying to do every day August. So D&D with Mortal Woes tomorrow. No stream Friday because The Mummy is in a second run theater, or whatever you call it, Last Chance Theater here in town for its 25th anniversary this weekend, and we love that movie. So we're going to go have a little cheap dinner, or not dinner, but cheap movie date on Friday. And then Saturday, we've, of course, got what's highly likely to be the culminating episode of the Battle of Capstone. We may or may not actually get like to the very end narratively, but I think for better or for worse, I think the Battle of Capstone will be decided on Saturday. Yeah, but there's more streams, but that's the relevant D&D stuff. So stop it. Yes, I'm out of here. Hopefully I can see you tomorrow on the Mortal Woes channel. If I don't catch you then I guess, since we're not streaming Friday, I'll see you on Saturday. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for joining today. Remember, if you didn't yet, and when we finish up, head over to Mortal Woes for their stream. As always, take care and be excellent to each other.